Okay, cam fam, bismillah. Okay, so supernouns have four properties, and that is status, which is i'rab in Arabic, definiteness, which is qism, gender, which is jins, number, which is adad, right? It's kind of important to know the Arabic. I would give it a little bit of emphasis, just getting familiar with it, just because Ustad uses it off and on, right? A really quick acronym that I came up with, which is how I remember this, is NGDS. NGDS. So number, gender, definiteness, status. So the next few lessons we're actually just going to go into detail regarding all of this, but just a quick touch on status. So to determine the status of a word, all you got to do is just look at its ending. So that boo, that ba, that b, and about 75% of the time, that's all you need to know in order to figure out its status. The status will be like the big key to telling you what its role is in the sentence. Then you can just look at the words around it to kind of piece together the meaning. It tells you a lot. So that's just something to keep in mind. Start to like begin to train yourself to look at the endings of words, because it's literally telling you the story of that word, right? It's life purpose for the most part. And I just added this sukoon in here just to clarify that that's a sukoon on there. I know it got cut off, but that's al-kitabu. This is al-kitaba, and this is al-kitabi, right? So that's all we're going to say about status for now. We're going to go into more detail about that next lesson. So let's talk about definiteness. Listen. So definiteness is one of the properties of a supernoun, and words can be either definite or indefinite. Ustad refers to them as proper or common. He kind of switches between the two, so just try and keep those in mind, alright? That proper means definite, common means indefinite. So something that's definite is something that's specific. So if I say, go get the bag from the car, I'm referring to a very specific bag. You're going to know which one that is, or you're going to ask me for clarification about which one that is. If it's indefinite, it's something that's not specific. So a bag, right? And it does, and so if I say, go get a bag from the car, it just means any bag, right? It's not a specific bag that we're speaking about. So in Arabic, indefinite nouns, you can tell if a noun is indefinite if it has a double ending. That un, in, or an. This is going to be the case pretty much 95% of the time. Not all the time, but 95% of the time. And this ending of double is known as tanween. That's a really important word because it comes up quite a bit. So kitabin, kitaban, and kitabun. These all mean a book. Regardless of the ending being different, that's just telling you its purpose within the sentence, right? Or helping you figure that out. One thing that you want to keep in mind is that on the ban here, the n, an alif is added. That's a tajweed rule. So whenever you have a word ending with two fathas, generally an alif is added just for pronunciation purposes. That's it. It's just read as kitab if you want to stop. So the exception to this rule is actually certain words. There's a list of words, and really you don't have to memorize them right now. They'll come with experience. So a word like akharu, which means like another, this is indefinite, even though it doesn't have tanween. It's just how it is, right? You'll find in Arabic that there's a lot of just how there is. There's actually a rule called sama'i, which is literally, it just means the Arab said so. So because the Arab said so, it's this way. And usually that happens whenever there's an exception to a rule, right? And there's no reasoning behind it. It's just because the Arab said so. It's just how it is. What we have to understand is that the Arabic language was there first. It was the Kufans and the Persians that began to codify it later on, right? So they figured out all the rules based on what they observed. So that's why things like that exist. But anyway, that's indefinite nouns. Going to end it here.